How much do you think this Jeep Grand Cherokee costs? 40,000? 50? Try 77. This is fully loaded. Now, just like Hyundai and Kia and Mazda, Jeep offers SUVs that are very basic or can be very expensive. This one is definitely at the luxury end. I will show you all the nice things inside and out that make it worth the price. Or maybe not. You tell us. Let's go drive. The Grand Cherokee L is the 3-row version of the regular Grand Cherokee. It was new for 2021 and it's more than a foot longer. There's no major changes for 2023. It's still looking just as stylish and distinctive as ever. The Grand Cherokee L comes with 2 engines. Unlike the regular Grand Cherokee, there's no plug-in hybrid. So what do we have? This one has my least favorite engine, the 3.6-liter V6, making just over 290 horsepower. It's all right, but the one I'd really like to have is the Hemi V8, 5.7 liters, and also with that, extra power, extra torque, extra towing, 7,200 pounds with the V8 and up to 6,200 with the V6. Now, rear-wheel drive in 4x2 configuration is available on every single Grand Cherokee L. That's standard, except this one. This is the Summit Reserve, so it's only 4-wheel drive. And not all 4-wheel drive is created equal. This one has the most expensive one, Quadra-Drive II. It's got an active transfer case. It can send up to 100% of torque to one wheel, electronic limited slip rear differential. It also has a low range. The other 2 4-wheel drive systems are either high range all the time or has a low range and it's not quite as sophisticated. It all depends on which Grand Cherokee L you buy, and this one is not trail rated. I've reviewed that Grand Cherokee L. You can see that against the Nissan Pathfinder if you want to see all the specs on that one. Very, very specific truck. For fuel economy, it's okay. For V6s, that's not too bad for a vehicle this size, and the V8 is much, much worse. Everyone comes with an 8-speed automatic. So after that, it's pretty simple. I know you're probably thinking about it. This should be a Wrangler paint or something on a Dodge Hellcat, but it's on a Grand Cherokee L. It's called Hydro Blue. I'm getting a lot of compliments, and a lot of people just don't expect a vehicle like this to be this loud. It's a really cool spec, especially when paired with the high altitude package. On the top Summit Reserve, that gives you the dark gray painted 21-inch wheels and all the blacked out trim, even black on the tops of these door handles. That's pretty unique. It also comes with an air suspension like a lot of Grand Cherokee Ls. It gives you up to 10.9 inches of total clearance. As you see it here, this is the normal setting, and there are 5 different settings available, just like a big Range Rover. Sometimes when automakers make a smaller SUV larger, it can look a little weird. Not here. There's over a foot in length added to the regular Grand Cherokee, but it looks elegant. All the lines are retained, nice and crisp. Thin LED taillights, thin LED headlights. It looks very distinctive, almost like a Land Rover, but doesn't copy that brand too much. This is still Jeep, and everywhere you look, from the U-shaped fenders to just even the back of the exhaust and the way the windows look, this is definitely a Jeep, and it's good for it. Cargo space, 17 cubic feet behind the 3rd row. When they power fold, 47, and when everything is folded, 85. Among all mid-size 3 rows, this is among the largest SUVs you can buy for cargo space, and it's way more than the regular Grand Cherokee, which only tops out at 71. These seats, they're really thin profile and they are very comfortable. The rest of this does look like it's a pretty high-end car, because in previous Jeeps, the fit and finish wasn't always there, but here, it's everywhere and it's good. Here's where the money goes, into this open pore walnut wood. It looks real and it feels real. That's a very big thing, especially on Jeep, which was never into woodwork before. There's also leather that Jeep claims is hand wrapped. It does feel good, it's diamond stitched, and all the nice stitching and the colors here truly feel high end. There's just 2 changes for 2023. On certain upper trims, you can now get stereo upgrades as standalone options instead of packages. And on these higher end models, navigation is standard. Captain's chairs in the back of the Grand Cherokee L, definitely a lot more room than the regular Grand Cherokee. You also get a separate console that does that, and this. Because these are 40-20-40 seats, this is helpful for cargo. There's also extra space. There's bench chairs available as an option. You don't really want that because these chairs are where it's at, especially on this Summit Reserve trim. They're heated, they're cooled, and there's 4-zone climate. The 3rd row seats too. Legroom is pretty tight, even for older kids with this console. So if you are gonna have kids back there, get the bench seats. The digital instrument panel has full screen maps. That's really helpful to see curves in the road a lot more closely than you might on the main display. Your basic trip and vehicle information. You can show analog speedometer and tachometer, or this carousel display. I don't really find that to be quite as useful. There's some legibility issues. For example, the air suspension is a very, very tiny graphic, very at the bottom of the speedometer. That's hard to read, but there's other useful features here. This Grand Cherokee also has night vision, which can be used during the daytime, and when you're driving, it will highlight people and animals in yellow. Hidden on the passenger side dash is a passenger touchscreen. You can access HDMI, audio, video independently from all the other screens in the vehicle. You can also send directions to the driver, so he or she can also see it on the head-up display. For example, if I like what I see, I can do exactly what I was doing independently of the driver. If I like this route, I send it, the driver accepts it, and I can see the route. Other things you can do, hook up wireless headphones, separate Bluetooth. You also can see notifications, and can also activate the 360-degree cameras, including the family cam, which shows you what's happening in the second and the third rows. Uconnect 5 comes standard. This is a 10-inch touchscreen. Not only can you get heated and cool seats and the steering wheel as icons, there's actual buttons right below them. That was a shortcoming in older FCA systems, but the new Stellantis system is much better. Some of the legibility and some of the response times not quite as good as before, but you still have this menu at the bottom which you can reconfigure. The maps are a lot better than they used to be. There's other views you can see for the surround cameras, for example. And not on this vehicle, but you can go off-road if you choose. And it's got some slightly cheesy 80s style graphics there, but all this information is here. It's over the air, updatable, very, very modern. The most revealing part that this is not a luxury car is the engine. It's not that it doesn't move, it's more so the sound. Because let me kick it down a gear and you be the judge. It's relatively muffled, but the power delivery as a naturally aspirated V6, when Jeep has a really good, brand new turbo inline 6, and also a plug-in hybrid, which has a turbo 4 and all that extra electric assist, this feels very dated, and it doesn't feel refined, because this V6, it's been in the Chrysler parts department since there was a Dodge Caravan. It's not the last word on refinement. Not that it should have been designed to do that, but now that it's in a Jeep that's costing over 70 grand, and even to start, this is a truck that is easily, when optioned to what most people would buy, in the 50s. There needs to be a better base engine. And that V8, as nice as it is, Stellantis is gonna be killing it. So they gotta put the turbo inline 6 in this Jeep. I think it would make a big difference. But here's where it is great. On the highway, cruising speeds, this Jeep feels like a tank. It's no longer anymore a Mercedes-Benz underneath. That's what the previous Grand Cherokee was. But this chassis feels just like it. It is solid. It just feels completely unwavered by wind or anything on the road. It is a long-haul cruiser, and even with these 21-inch wheels and tires, with the air suspension and the adaptive dampers on this model, the ride is great, and it's just quiet, quiet, quiet. I can't get enough of that. When it comes to driving on the highway, there's no hands-free system. There's an active driving assist, but it does require you to have your hands on all the time, as you probably should when you're driving. These systems are not perfect, but it's a little disappointing right now for 2023, given this amount of money for this Jeep, that it does not have the full suite of systems that even Ford is offering at the moment. I think that'll come, but the rest of the systems are pretty good. It's also got night vision. And when you get off the highway and you're on a back two-lane road, like a lot of places in rural America, I found the Grand Cherokee L really performs well. How? It feels secure. It doesn't feel floaty. There's not a lot of lean. The steering doesn't have a ton of feel. I think primarily off-center, there's just not much happening here. I wish they would retune that, because the rest of this chassis is excellent. And that's a big reason why you get a vehicle like this and it doesn't feel like a large boat. It's because you can take a corner and not feel like you're at the cornering limit or you're gonna flip over. Also, the way this air suspension is tuned, you don't get that floaty effect ever. I think Mercedes-Benz does a much floatier job in its suspension. It truly does. It makes me feel actually a little car sick while I'm driving, but not in this Jeep. I think it's better tuned. It's definitely tighter in terms of wheel control. And that's nice because for a Jeep that's still supposed to be able to go off-road, you might think that it would be a little cushier. It's not the case. This particular model, there's absolutely no reason to even show you what it does off-road because A, it's not trail rated by Jeep, and B, these are 21-inch street tires. And this thing looks so clean today, and it's so pretty inside, I'm not getting it dirty. And no one who's buying this trim of the Grand Cherokee L is ever gonna take it off-road. You're just gonna take it maybe on an unplowed road. It can handle that, but it needs better tires. That's the reality of modern Jeeps. Most of them are luxury SUVs that will never see dirt. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a pleasant family vehicle, and this one truly does feel luxurious in every way, from the seat quality to the way the steering wheel feels in my hands. The leather isn't quite as soft as what you'll find in Mercedes or BMW. It isn't. And on the lower trims of the Grand Cherokee L, you'll find some harder plastics down here. Certainly nice covered and nice fabrics and materials on this trim. But on the baser models, it doesn't feel quite as special. I think the more you spend in a Grand Cherokee L, much like when you buy a Hyundai SUV, it's just nicer and it's worth the price. At low speeds, the brakes are fine, but look at these rotors. If I was towing a big trailer, I'd want better brakes. The 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee L starts at $42,130. That's a $2,000 premium over the regular Grand Cherokee, no matter which of 8 trims you buy. Mine is the Summit Reserve, which was $77,870 fully loaded with Destination. At this high end, we're not talking Hondas, Nissans, and Fords. This car competes against the Land Rover Defender 130, the Mercedes GLE, Audi Q7, Volvo XC90, and any host of luxury midsize SUVs. At this high price, how does this Jeep really stack up? Against the luxury competitors, I actually think it has a very good shot, very distinctive looks, beautiful interior, all the nice handcrafted leather and wood. That's really nice. All the technology too, like that passenger side screen, competitors don't even offer that, not at this price. What I don't like, the powertrain. It's not very luxurious when you have a V6 engine that's borrowed from a minivan that's underpowered for this size vehicle and doesn't really have the same shift quality and other dynamic capability that the bigger brands like Mercedes ace so well. This one really needs the new Hurricane Inline 6 that Stellantis is introducing across many of its SUVs, and I also hope it gives this one a plug-in hybrid like the smaller Grand Cherokee. So new powertrains, absolutely, that will elevate this. But even so, it's a Jeep, it's very popular, and what do you think? They are everywhere, everyone's buying them, but are you? Tell us, comments, subscribe. We're always here with new car reviews every single week, so we'll see you next time, and thank you for watching.